everybody. I'm here. Sorry for the couple-minute delay. I thought I had everything set up, and then I realized I missed one very important step to going live. But I figured it out on the fly, and we're good. I did not shower right before the Naked Truth today. I took little man to swim class, and he took a long time going down to nap, so I did not have time to shower, but I will be showering immediately after this Naked Truth today. But welcome, everybody. I didn't even, tweet out or put on Instagram that I was doing this, so it might just be an intimate circle of us today, but that's okay, because I see a lot of names that I recognize in chat, so thank you guys so much. Woot woot! YouTube was a little confused if you were live, says Andy T2K. Oh, did I start streaming to the wrong place or something like that? Oops. But yeah, we're here now. Hi Dids, hi Tim D, hey Andy, hey James Wisdom, hey Thomas, hey Captain Robert. Hey guys, how's it going? But today, I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted to title today's Naked Truth. Whether I want a beauty pageant would be more interesting to people, or beauty pageants in general, or are beauty pageants sexist? I don't know. My YouTube partner manager was not encouraging me to get more clickbaity with my thumbnails and titles, but she was like, you need to grab their attention more. So now I'm overthinking titles and stuff. But anyway, today's Naked Truth topic was brought up by Jeremy Coleman, who's in chat today. Hello, Jeremy. Says, here's a topic for a future episode of The Naked Truth on the one time you became a pageant queen. And I don't think I've ever told this story in detail. I know I've probably mentioned that I did win a pageant at one point, and I did pageants when I was a teenager. But especially now, with the atmosphere in 2019, I feel like a lot of people look at pageants and are like, oh my God, that's so sexist and archaic and horrible. But I have very mixed feelings on it because I did them and I had a very positive experience when I did pageants. So yeah. So anyway, I figured this would be a great place to talk about it and get everybody else's opinions. And I found a website where people can debate things openly. And I found that 77% of people were like, are pageants sexist? Yes. And some no votes. But anyway, we'll kind of get into the yes and no and pros and cons and stuff like that in it. Let's see. Absent-minded professor says, I discovered your chat from a YouTube notice. Glad I did. Oh, great. Okay. Awesome. So YouTube is actually letting people know. Oh, Ani13 says, I got a notification on the YouTube gaming app. That's funny. This is not a gaming live stream, but maybe I should do some gaming live streams on my YouTube channel sometimes. I mostly do them on my Twitch, but I could start doing them here. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. Michael King says, so wait, the latest Naked Truths were not clickbait enough? Ugh, I hate YouTube and social media for this reason. I know it's crazy. But anyway, before we kind of get into the pros and cons of pageants and if people think that they're sexist or not, and I mean, maybe how they compare to bodybuilding competitions, maybe, I wanted to kind of tell my story. So here's story time. So I got into pageants because they would send in the snail mail these flyers to recruit people to do pageants. And my mom was super against it. So the entire time I was young, my mom just threw them in the trash. I didn't even see them half the time. But I grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania where things like this were somewhat common. I mean, not as common as I hear pageants are in the South for kids. But anyway, when I was 16, I found a mailer and I was like, hey mom, I think I want to do this. And she was like, well, I guess if you're going to do anything dumb, now's a good time to do it. So my mom was super anti this the whole time. And there was an entry fee that you had to pay. Plus you had to have money, obviously, to buy an evening gown and all this other kind of stuff, which we didn't have. So my mom was like, if you want to do it, you're raising all the funds yourself. We will support you emotionally in this, and because we're your parents, we'll be there for you, but I'm not contributing to this because I think it's dumb, was kind of the idea, which I can't say that I blame her. She said she never liked the idea that you'd be telling a whole bunch of girls, especially when they're younger, you'd be telling a whole bunch of girls, you're not good enough and you're the loser today because only one person wins, which I completely understand. But anyway, I was kind of determined, and I think I was determined because I saw a lot of movies as a kid where the person who's picked on all through school and is the underdog kind of has like a she's all that moment where everyone's like, oh my gosh, you had it all along and we were all just too stupid to see. So I was like, oh man, I'm the kid that's picked on. I'm not very popular. Maybe I've got something within me and I can prove to everyone that I'm a winner if I do this. So that was kind of my drive, because I was like, yeah, I can do this for whatever reason. So I did. I went door to door and I raised all the money, and I raised enough money to enter, and I raised enough money to help get my evening gown and all this, and pay for the hotel room because it was in Harrisburg, not locally where I lived in Pennsylvania. So it was this whole crazy adventure. And the pageant circuit that I competed in, I don't even know if they're around anymore. I think they are. It was called American Co-ed Pageants, and the co-ed not meaning boys and girls, but co-ed meaning like college co-eds. So their main division, I think at the time, was the co-ed division, which was the college age kids. And when I was entering, because I was 16, I was entering the Miss Teen Pennsylvania American co-ed competition. And there were only 3 categories. There was no swimsuit category. I should throw that out there. There was no swimsuit category. So there were a lot of reasons that I feel like I do probably have a more positive experience of pageants, because this one was a little bit more realistic. I see Curtis Jeremiah says, pageant queen, more like dancing queen. You, sir, have never seen me dance. It's not pretty. We had to dance in these pageants with like silly costumes for the opening number and stuff like that. It made me really love movies like Drop Dead Gorgeous, like that. And that's that mockumentary about pageants, right? And Miss Congeniality and stuff like that, because there's a lot of stuff to make fun of about pageants too. But anyway, so the 3 categories that I had to compete in were evening wear, interview, and then a third one that they called poise and personality. But we always said poise and personality because it was funnier when you say it fast. And that was more like a little public speaking. So you had to like get up on stage and introduce who you are in so many words or less. And so, yeah, it was like a public speaking component, an interview component, and then your evening wear component. There wasn't a swimsuit. There were optional categories like talent and sportswear modeling and stuff like that. And I think even a speech category where you wrote your own speech. But the optionals, you would pay an extra optional entry fee to compete in, and they had their own separate for second and third place, and they didn't go towards your overall score. And also, one thing I thought that was cool about these pageants is if you were under 12, you weren't allowed to wear makeup. So that's a big departure from a lot of the like kiddie pageants that you think of today, where the girls are like what's that Toddlers and Tiaras show where they're wearing like fake teeth and crazy amounts of makeup and false lashes, and they're like 4. It's ridiculous. But this was not one of those. No makeup under 12 was allowed, or else you would be not expelled. But you would be disqualified. That's the word that I'm looking for. You would be disqualified. Poison personality, that's me, says Chris. Yeah, that's what we used to joke about all the time. So, yeah, that was kind of just a little overview of what the pageant that I competed in was. But the first year that I went, because I ended up doing it a few years in a row, the first year I went, I was 16, and I made a lot of friends. I met a lot of other girls that were, and I hope if any of them are watching this, because I'm still friends with some of them, I want to say that we're a little bit more unique. So I don't want to say nerdy or or odd or anything like that, but girls that were just a little bit more unique, and we kind of all gravitated towards each other because of that. And it was so sweet that like when the top 15 were announced, and I made top 15 my first year, which was crazy. All of us were on stage when they had the top 15 on stage, like holding hands and really excited for each other. And I only did it 3 years, but every year when they announced the person that won, everyone else that was on stage was really happy because we're friends with these people. We'd either become friends over the weekend because it's a whole weekend competition, or we'd become friends because year after year we saw each other there. And so it kind of became like this fun weekend summer camp-ish like activity that I did 16, 17, and 18. And when I was 16, I made the top 15. And when I was 17, I got first runner-up, which was crazy. And then when I was 18, I actually won. So I ended up being Miss Pennsylvania American Co-ed when I was 18 to 19 years old. and yeah, it was a really cool experience. Like when I won, then I got to be involved with a lot of charity work that year. I got to just go to like state activities and stuff I probably wouldn't even known of. And then because I won when I was 18, I had to go to nationals for like the overall big pageant, which was crazy because the girls don't call each other by each other's names. They call each other by your state. So it'd be like, hey, Oklahoma, how you doing? Oh, what's up, Pennsylvania? Like, it was crazy. So surreal. But I did not have the same experience at the national level. I feel like the girls were a lot more competitive and not really in it to make friends as much as they were at the state level. Like sabotaging, stealing earrings and nonsense like that, which I was like, ooh, get me right out of here. I don't like this. Shade EX with a super chat. Thank you so much. Says, I'm at a metal concert working, but here's a bit for a rainy day. Good stream, everyone. I'll watch later. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. And I love that you're at a metal concert working. I hope that it's super fun and you have a good time and also get paid. So, huzzah! Oh, and Michael King wants to know, Shade, what metal show? Maybe you guys all end up meeting up in person. That'd be awesome. I really hate Google says, poor you. You had to go because you won. No, I mean, I enjoyed going, and it was when you win, you get scholarship funds. When you win that pageant, you get scholarship funds to apply towards college. You did have to be enrolled in college to enter the pageant at the co-ed level. And yeah, they pay for your trip to Florida. The pageant was held not in Disney World, but by Disney World. So we did get a day at Disney, which was really fun. Curtis says, pageant queens say their names by where you're from. Yeah, it was super weird, Curtis. I don't know if everybody does. That was my experience. And then, of course, when I was in nationals and the year that I did win, I had been doing the pageant enough that I did compete in some optionals. So I think the year that I won, I don't know if I won speech. I may have just placed highly, but not won it. And I ended up doing talent and I ended up doing speech. And anyway, it was a really good time. And it was a really good confidence builder for me. It was a pageant where every person that participates gets a participation trophy, which I know it's very cool to be very anti-participation trophies right now, because it's like, don't let kids think that they're going to get a free pass and always win. Like, they have to work, and sometimes you lose and life is hard. And I get all that. But let me just tell you, as someone that was super nervous to do it in the first place, I loved my participation trophy. And there were a lot of girls that felt that way. So I'm a fan of participation trophies to show, like, I raised the money, I did the work to get here, I did all 3 competitions, I got out on stage, I did public speaking, like, heck yeah, to celebrate that. So I guess, for me, the pros of my story, like, when I want to say, like, hey, I think pageants are actually kind of cool, would be because I made a lot of friends at the time, I gained a lot of confidence through it, you can actually win scholarship money, and I made friends that I'm still friends with today. That was absolutely awesome. But then the negatives of it, I can 100% see, which it is a beauty competition. So you are judging people based on their looks. That's the primary thing. Yes, there's other categories like interview and stuff like that, but really at its core, it is judging people based on their appearance, which is not awesome. It was just for females. It's not like there were men and women competing in this beauty aesthetics competition. So I'm sure a lot of people would argue, like, I think I saw something that said beauty pageants were originated by men as a way to choose their wives in their harem, which, I mean, no one's going to get behind that in 2019. But then our male bodybuilding competitions, like, those are people judged on their appearance, but I guess they're judged on their ability and strength more so than just their appearance. I don't know enough about that world to say that maybe it's completely one side or another. I do agree with my mom that way more kids lose than win, even though there's participation trophies and there's lots of different optional categories, so you can win in one but not the other, etc., etc. I mean, she's not wrong when she's like, you're telling all those little girls that little girl is better than them, and that's not awesome. But they did a really good job of saying, you know, like, it's your best day, you know? Like, this, if you win, it's because this was your day, this was your best day, and you put your best foot forward today, and it doesn't mean that overall you as the winner are better than all these other people. You just had a good day on that competition day, which you could tell kids, I guess, about any sport, really. And I saw, so this site I found, debate.org, people are probably all over this site, and I'm like just discovering it. But on debate.org, I found the site that says, are pageants sexist? 77% of people said yes. 23% of people said no. And let me just see. I'll just pick one. Right. This person says it's a glorified dog show for women. One of the people that says yes. You're teaching kids that beauty is all that matters. Or women, that it's all that matters. And then there's people on the other side of the fence that say, no, I don't think pageants exploit or create sexist behaviors. They help enhance public speaking and interview skills as well as self-esteem. Let's see. And this person says, when I do have children, whether it's a boy or a girl, I will have them do one pageant and then see if they like it. If they decide to continue on, that's their choice. I didn't know there were pageants for boys. That might be a thing. I have no idea. But anyway, I have talked long enough. It is now my time to ask you guys, what is your opinion on beauty pageants? Yay or nay? Do you think they're a good thing, not a great thing? Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Garth McMurray says, do you think that there should be age restrictions for beauty pageants? I always get creeped out when I see the girls caked on with makeup under 13-year-old. I really liked the way that the pageant that I did it, where you couldn't wear makeup under a certain age. So they were really valuing just, looking your age was a big part of it. You didn't want to look older than your age. That was something that would actually negatively affect your score in those pageants. Michael King says, oh, come on, beauty pageants are not as bad as dog shows at all. Andy T2K says, if it's for adults, pageants are just another form of modeling. Okay, so I'm getting the feel that you guys don't like the aging. Are We Dead Yet says, if you have a panel of men judging women, how can it not be sexist? I think most of the judges when I did it were women. I think they were usually composed of like former winners. It's usually women that run the pageants at a national level, like run the business end of it. Usually they're a judge. But it's like 5 or 6 people, and I want to say at least 4 or 5 of them are women. Beauty pageants are not as cool as metal gigs. I agree with you. Thomas says, it depends on the person. It's fine if you want to do it. Boom12 says, what do you feel about kids in pageants, Trish, especially those who are really obsessed? I feel like with kids with any activity that it's a shame when you see parents like putting their goals on their children and trying to like push their children to fulfill their goals that they never got to fulfill in their life. And that goes for anything, whether it's sports or acting or pageants or whatever. I'm a big fan of, like with Logan, let Logan decide what Logan wants to do. If he wants to try something, I will support him. And if he wants to continue it, awesome. And if he's like, you know what, this isn't for me, that is fine too. Ruben says, I feel like they're more for the parents than the kids. And yeah, I mean, that's an argument to be made. In my case, my mom was like, please don't let me have to talk to like the other moms. Now, of course she went, and really the people I made friends with, my mom really liked their parents and they became friends through that. But her opinion was very much like the stereotype of like, I don't want to be near these crazy stage moms. That's not me. Sean Bellis says, did you judge after you won? I think I judged an optional 1 year later, but that was it. I didn't judge the whole thing. Humor Jubai says, I don't have an opinion on it. I don't know enough. Christian Paulson says, I think pageants are dumb, but why the F not? Michael King says, I think part of the problem is we are thinking Miss America or Miss Universe rather than the others. The obsession and stage mom syndrome is also a problem too. 100%. Yeah, I agree. But I wonder if I'm sure that same obsession and like stage mom-esque goes for kids sports too. Like we see like movies where they make fun of the soccer mom that's ready to beat up the coach because their 5-year-old didn't get to play the right position or whatever. Like parents are crazy when it comes to their kids. And I say that being a parent who's crazy when it comes to my child. I hope that I'm never that stereotype. You know what I mean? GDK Mouse says, in the UK, we don't really see any pageants. I think it's mainly an American thing. That's interesting. Okay, Jenny says, I think pageants are more negative than positive. You can build self-esteem and interview skills in other ways. Okay, yes, I agree with that as well. And maybe that's where we'll be moving forward. Christian Polson just gave a super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Says, do you have any pictures from back then? They don't save pictures of state winners from back then, and yes, they still exist. I was trying desperately. This is also part of the reason I was late today. I was trying desperately to find a picture to like throw up during this Naked Truth, and I couldn't find one. I know my mom has pictures at her house because they saved the newspaper clipping that it was like, local girl wins Pennsylvania state pageant. So I do have those at my mom's house in Pennsylvania. I don't think I have any here, or if I do, I couldn't find them before this stream, unfortunately. But when I find them, I will show it as soon as I can. Nicholas Beeson says, teaching kids about working hard for a goal is very important in confidence building because you can't give someone confidence. That's true. You have to earn it. And I will say a big part of my confidence was like, for the poise and personality section, like writing my little introduction myself, memorizing it myself, and getting on stage and delivering it in front of a crowd without being nervous. I was like, yes, I did that. Regardless of whether or not I won. Michael King says, I hope I'm not a hockey dad when I have children. Hockey parents are really crazy. I went to see a nephew play hockey and a parent got thrown out. It's crazy. Yeah, it's just nuts. That James Wisdom says, no, we don't really have pageants. All I know about child pageants I learned from Little Miss Sunshine. Great movie, by the way. All right, my next question to you guys is, do you think, if given the opportunity, like you can pretend you're whatever age you want, but do you think you would ever compete in or encourage your child to compete in this type of competition? Why or why not? Hi, Sneehead, I see you. Garth McMurray says, I remember you showed one pageant photo years ago on SourceFed. Yeah, that might be like the one that I have that I can't find. Because I don't think I have it digitally. But I have to look. Andy T2K says, confidence sounds great, but when it's judging based on looks, there's only so much stuffing and makeup you can do. Yeah, that's where I learned about butt glue. For girls that competed in any kind of swimsuit thing, they would roll. Because a lot of the girls that did my pageant also did the other pageants. There was like roll-on glue that you'd put on your tush to make sure you didn't get a wedgie when you were walking on stage, and people would use Vaseline on their teeth so that their lipstick wouldn't stick to their teeth. It's so crazy. Dan Donnelly says, since they involve skills as well as looks, maybe the problem is the term beauty pageant. So if you present it under another name, it's more acceptable. That's an interesting thought, as anything that builds confidence can't really be bad. Yeah, I wonder what else they could call them. Maybe presentation competitions? I don't know. Putting your best foot forward, something like that. Dragon King says, I have a friend who competes in beauty pageants and she loves them because it opens so many opportunities for her to be part of the community. She's been able to raise money for so many charities. And that's another aspect of it. I did a lot of charity work when the year that I was Miss Pennsylvania as well. And that was really cool to be able to do that and participate in that. Thomas Moffat says, for me, absolutely not. For my kid, if they wanted to, and then I'd support them. Boom12 says, I will never let my kids do it. I'd rather they focus on other fields like academics and sports, not beauty, which is also valid. SourceFed Nerd says, encourage, probably not, but if they wanted to do it, that would be okay. In terms of myself, I'm a 23-year-old guy, so probably not. But like if they had something like that for guys, where it was like, your presentation skills, your interview skills, and then you had to like walk across the stage in a nice tux or something like that. Thomas Moffat says, call it a talent show. Yes, that's true if it has a talent. Jenny says, me, never. I'm not very confident. If my kid was interested, I'd have to do more research. I think that's a very, very valid way to go. Doing research into whatever kind of competition it is, what the backstory is. I mean, if like the person who runs the competition, their child wins every year, like you don't want to put your kid through that. Let's see. Oh, hey, Epic Voice Guy's here. How's it going? Good to see you. I haven't talked to you in ages. Says, I just don't have the time to put our kids in anything. If they wanted to, I would do my best to make it happen, but they've never expressed interest, which I totally get. That James Wisdom says, it's just another name for a talent show with an additional modeling competition now. Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to say it. Cyclops TB gave a super chat. Thank you so much. And said, wanted to remind you the Naked Truth is 5 years old. Oh my God, the Naked Truth is 5 years old. That's crazy. Thank you to everyone who has been here since the beginning for sure, but also everyone who just hangs out here on the regular. You guys are awesome sauce. Thank you. Boom12 says, tuxedos don't seem as appealing to many. I disagree. I think guys in Texas are super spicy. I'm into it. David Wood says, yeah, it's not a thing in the UK. I guess it kind of is a modeling competition. That's a good way to say it, more so than a beauty pageant. Beauty pageant totally sounds archaic, and I hate the idea that you're telling people they're worth something or not based on how good looking they are. So I completely understand that aspect of it. Are We Dead Yet says, I can't handle people looking at me, so probably not. That's true. Tuamas Grana says, if I had a kid and they wanted to compete in a beauty pageant, I wouldn't stop them. I would help them with their pageant hobby, even if I personally find the child pageants a little weird. Yeah. For men to do it, I think that's what drag runways are for, says Miguel. That's certainly a type of modeling competition, would be drag, yeah, for sure. Okay, one more question for you guys. Do you think beauty pageants, as we know them today, will phase out as people become more socially aware? I mean, that's the direction that I feel like people are moving, where things are getting more and more PC and people are getting more woke. Do you think that beauty pageants, as we know them today, will no longer be a thing, or at least no longer be a thing like the Miss America pageant currently is televised and all that kind of stuff? Modeling competition. I kind of like that. That's cool. That's kind of a neat name for it, or a talent competition that includes modeling or something like that. Garth McMurray gave a timeout, unrelated question while I'm waiting for answers to come in. Someone said online that Game Engine will return this Tuesday, but the latest GNS schedule doesn't have Game Engine. Was it canceled? No, it's called, I think, GNS Plays on the latest Geek and Sundry schedule, and it's because Game Engine is being reworked, but they said we want Game Engine to come back starting this Tuesday, so we're just going to stream games for 2 hours every Tuesday until the new Game Engine iteration is a thing that's happening. So the Game Engine people will be there every Tuesday from 4 to 6 still, starting this Tuesday, to answer your question. That James Wisdom says, I think they'll change rather than just go away. Okay, yeah. Thomas says, woke. I hate that term. I know, I almost did bunny ears when I said it. Thomas Moffat says, James Wisdom, a good tailored suit is an awesome thing to wear. It is. Kavaja says, my sister's already born and technically she's not ready for those things, but I'll love to see my sister compete, only if my mom approves. Yeah, if they want to. Victoria Rogers says, I think it will morph into something else or into a different form. Jeff agrees. I think it'll probably shift around, like maybe it dies out here, pops up in other countries for a bit, etc. Yeah. And Ulbelk says, what happens when you remove all the bad things from pageants? You get other things. Debate, talent. They are unnecessarily bad. Hope they go away quickly. Oh, I don't really understand your comment fully. I hope you mean the other things that are bad are unnecessarily bad. And if they go away, that's true. Then you do get things like speech and debate and talent and interview skills and that kind of stuff. Hemer Jubai says, I think there will be a different type of pageant, but I think the full-on beauty pageants will fizzle out. Okay, so everyone's pretty much in agreement on this kind of thing. Boom12 says, eventually Miss Universe will phase out. I think Miss Universe has only been gaining attention for mistakes and other viral moments rather than the actual contestants. And I would agree with that. I mean, even back when I did pageants, so when I was, 18, 19, Miss Universe was the one that everyone kind of looked at as strictly a beauty and modeling competition. Like, that's what it was. Because I mean, even if you were to win Miss USA, then you go on to Miss Universe, the girls don't even speak the same language, so it's a very, very different thing. Nicholas Beeson brings up a good point, says beauty does not always mean physical things. Intellect is beautiful too. Modeling only indicates the physical aspect. That's true. So maybe modeling competition is not the right way to say it. Maybe beauty is the right word. I don't know. Are We Dead Yet? I agree with this. Says, I think the televised ones will go away, but the smaller ones will probably continue. Michael Peter says, did you get de hook with debate? I don't know exactly what that means, but I loved speech and debate all through high school. So that was my jam, and I was really happy that that was part of the competition. But anyway, thank you guys so much for sharing your thoughts, because, when I saw the, are pageants sexist? There is a big part of me that's like, yeah, beauty pageants are sexist, and I know that now because I've gotten older and wiser. And then there's the other part of me that's like, But it was a really good learning experience for me, and I made a lot of friends, and I had a really good time. And it had nothing to do with the fact that the third year I won. Like, I had such a good time my first year when I did not win that I wanted to keep coming back and doing it again. And after I won, I was bummed that I couldn't do it again, because once you win, you can't compete anymore. And that super bummed me out because it was so fun. And, you know, so everybody has different experiences with things, but I just thought I'd share mine. And thank you, Jeremy Coleman, for suggesting that. Guys, if you want to make Naked Truth responses when it comes to the topic that is beauty pageants, would you ever do it? Would you ever let your kids do it? Do you think they're sexist? Kind of all of that stuff. Go ahead and make your video responses, and you can post them on the community tab of this channel. And then also, if you want to keep talking about it, but just kind of in chat form, we do have a Naked Truth channel in the Discord, if you want to join that as well, and I'll link that in the description of this video. And it's linked in the other descriptions of my other Naked Truth videos as well, so you can find that there. And tomorrow morning, I will be streaming to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Trisha Hershberger, so you can come hang out there if you want as well. So keep suggesting topics for anything that you want to talk about, because the Naked Truth, this especially Naked Truth 2.0, is a very interactive, that's why we're doing it live now. It's a very interactive, more conversation type of content, and I want to hear what you guys have to say, and let's talk about things that are important to you as well, not just things that are important to me. So suggest topics as much as you like, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your weekend, and yeah, that's it. So that has been this Naked Truth, and I will see everybody later. Thank you so much to everyone who supported this channel with a super chat. You guys rock my socks. And and I did a charity stream this past Wednesday where we raised over $3,000 for 8-Bit Salute, which is a gaming charity that supports U.S. troops. Thank you so much again to everyone who donated there. And I think I'm going to take that whole thing, because it was so ridiculous, and post it on this channel. Maybe I'll do that next weekend on our off week from Naked Truth. Okay, enough of my brain ramblings just coming out to you, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Bye, guys!